The only reason I get to talk to you guys and be at TIFF is because I partnered up with House of Aurora, which is where we're at. So I want to give a huge thank you to House of Aurora for helping me support movies and getting Collider to TIFF. As you know, it's expensive to come to film festivals and put this whole thing on. I just want to say thank you to them.
Thank you.
For the two of you, jumping right on in, we're at the Toronto Film Festival, my favorite film festival. Maybe I'm biased, but what does it mean to be a part of this fest with your movie?
Well, this is the North American premiere of Museo. We've screened it at the Berlin Film Festival early in the year, but this is the first time that it's coming to this side of the world, and so we're very excited to see what American audiences think about it, and then it'll start making its way down. Actually, like literally, we start here, then we go to New York, and then to Mexico, and then to South America. So there's a nice journey that the film will have. So this is the starting point, and also just the festival itself is a great window for films. You're screening alongside other amazing filmmakers. So I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, delighted to be. I mean, presenting this movie, it's always nice to see what happens when a film comes out. And here there's people from all over the world. I mean, also the film gets an awareness in other parts of the world where it's going to come out soon and everything. And eventually it will come out worldwide. And I don't know, just curious to... I mean, it's nice to experience this like firsthand, It's, I would love to be in other festivals as well afterwards to see what people react to the movie.
I hate asking generic questions, but almost everyone seeing this interview will not have seen the movie yet. So could you talk a little bit about what it's about?
Yeah, well, Museo is based on the real story of a heist that happened in 1985, where two college dropouts entered the National Anthropology Museum in Mexico City on a Christmas Eve and stole 150 pieces of pre-Hispanic art, Mayan, Aztec, Mixteco, and so on. And the following day it was reported as a heist perpetrated by a band of expert international art dealers and connected to art thefts in Paris and London or wherever. And it turned out when they finally caught him that it was two guys who had done a prank, a kind of prank that got out of hand. So the film tells the story of these two friends just before they commit this robbery, and then follows them as they the downward spiral of their own morality and sanity, after the theft.
For you, what was it? How did you first hear about the project? Was it something that is there like a text message, or are you actually getting the script and saying, "Oh wow, this is a crazy story"?
No, it was actually a conversation with Alonso to let's talk about this movie that I want to make and stuff. When we met up, and he told me about it. He showed me a lookbook. No, what is it called? A little presentation, and stuff. And the script was still in the works, and still, but I was already in just the fact of, it was exciting, from the beginning, and I was interested by it, and then. I don't know, I say this a lot, but I really mean it. It's like when you fall in love, you then don't remember when it all started. You can't mention that moment because it's just part of, you all of a sudden become part of that, and it's part of your life, and the film became part of our lives, and so everything about it I was interested in.
I'm curious, from when the idea first germinated to what people are seeing on screen, how much changed along the way?
A lot. This is a film that has had a really long journey. My co-writer Manuel Alcalá started. He's the son of a news reporter, and so he has this He has it in his blood. This investigative side, and he started researching the case about 10 years ago, and he started developing a script. And then after he saw my first movie, he said, well, I want you to direct this, and then I started working on the script with him. We started rewriting, and then it started taking its own life. It started. We started sort of deciding what to get rid of and what things from the real case to keep. So yeah, it's been a long journey.
How involved are you? I'm curious, as an actor, how involved are you do you like being in the editing room? And how much are you sort of like, when you step off set, I don't want to see it till you have like the director's cut done?
Oh no, when I'm an actor, I'm an actor. I don't get involved at all in the editing room at all. Like it is always a surprise. It is always I don't know. I'm always curious to see it. I'm always curious to, but I would never do that. I think, to go into an editing room and work on the
Well, I'm always curious because obviously, like,
and then there's people that do that. No?
Oh, there's definitely people that do that.
Yeah, but I know we come from a very different way of working. I mean, as well, there is we have the ability and the possibilities to do whatever we want. In the fact that we don't have to cater for any studio or anything. We're doing our film the way we want it. Like, and we're all also, in the know that we are interpreting a director's point of view. So we're all at the service of Alonso's point of view. Alfonso also, no, but of Alonso's point of view, we're all like interpreting his point of view in a way, and it's a collaboration. But at the end of the day, it's his point of view that will give. I don't know, we'll make the film a film. Totally.
But have you ever seen like the cut and then been like, I know I delivered a different take that I really liked in that scene? Let's talk about that.
No, I don't. No, I would talk about what I think of the cut.
Sure.
What I think of like the other possibilities and stuff, but I never, no.
You know what I mean, though? Like,
I understand what you mean, but I never felt that. Like, I've never felt like I didn't do that. Like, I don't know, because also you don't know what the hell's going on when you're being shot. When the camera's on you, like you might feel a certain way, and you just, I don't know, what the camera sees something else
completely
than what you're feeling. So
yeah, and that from when you direct.
Yeah.
So that they're different processes. Mm-hmm. So I think that's very clear.
I'm always curious, who did you show the film to early on to try to get honest feedback, and how did the film change as a result of that feedback?
Well, I've kind of my first movie I showed it to too many people, I think. So. And you can get a little bit lost if you have too many opinions. And so this time, me and my editor, we were very careful of like, let's just show it to a handful of people that that I really trust. So a couple of filmmaker friends, of colleagues, and the one person that I have a sort of mentor relationship, I guess, or like, well, at least I really admire his work, and is Paweł Pawlikowski, the Polish director. I sent him a link. Like, he's the only person external guy who saw the film and sent me some really useful comments. And then but I think that's a natural process. Like you write the movie 3 times, and so the third time you write it in the editing room is a journey of discovery, and you have to. I think that's a normal process. So it's not so much what people said to us. It was just guided by our intuition of finding the final film.
And also, once the films the film is the film, like once it, then it comes to subjective. Some people might like it, some people might not, and that's where there's nothing else added, whatever people would say. No, like sure. It's it's a thing of like, it's just to see if, and then that's why I have to be so careful to know who to talk to when showing a film. Like, it can't just be like, no, because some people are very good at giving advice of like working the film, of making the film work, of what you want it to tell. I don't know. It's an interesting process that fortunately nobody can teach, because if they would teach, then they would format something that is very, I don't know, it's very unique for every film and every context and person. I don't know. It's strange, but also, I mean, what's nice is that in Mexico we have a culture, I'd say, or tradition maybe, of collaboration, you know, of showing each other's films and working with each other, helping out each other. You know, there is that. Maybe we inherited that from past directors that really worked with each other, you know, and they helped each other to make their films better.
Yeah, no, I think that's a crucial part of the process, like choosing the 2 or 3 people that can really see the film that you're trying to make, and then point towards your own direction, not towards the film that they would do, you know. And
No,
there's a handful of people that can do that only, I think, that have that vision of saying, this is not, I wouldn't make this movie like this, but you're trying to get to here, so I think you're missing this and that. And
for each of you, memorable moments from filming. What's like a day or two that you will remember forever?
Oh, there was so many in this film, but really a big number. Man, I was so lucky. Going like, working in the Anthropology Museum, you know, being, you know, having the Anthropology Museum in Mexico open for us at night. And there was a moment where the restrictions were we couldn't get the camera inside the halls. Exactly. So we could be outside, you know, the camera could be outside, but we could be inside, the actors, you know. So, and you shot us, like you put the camera like walking around and spending some time alone in the Aztec Hall, for example.
Yeah, that was beautiful. That was amazing.
We were there, me and the other actor and an assistant, a production assistant. We were there like I don't know, maybe an hour on our own, like just in the hall for our own, you know, facing the big Aztec calendar, you know, and you know, just spending some time in one of the most important places in the world of human history. I don't know, it just felt like, what is what's that going on, you know?
And this is why you paid to be in the movie, so you could have alone time in the museum.
I felt that in Palenque, when we went to the Mayan ruins of Palenque, and we were so lucky to be able to film in those pyramids.
Yeah, by the way, that footage is exceptional. When I was watching it in the film, I was like, this is breathtaking.
Yeah,
you know?
That place is
it's amazing.
Yeah, it's magical. And being there without tourists, you know, they would only let us shoot after tourists had left. So that was like, you start shooting at magic hour. And then for one night we went on shooting into the night, and just being there. And when I remember when the sound girl, who's a really good friend, she was doing her room tone. Her room tone. And you know, everyone be quiet, and she did a really long room tone. We did like 5 or 10 minutes of everyone silent, and we just lay back in the pyramids, just listened to the jungle, and it was just like, that was my favorite moment by far.
Everyone who's been coming in the studio, we've been playing something called Get to Know Your TIFF Attendee. I promise this is painless, and hopefully you will find it at least semi-okay. What TV show would you love to guest spot on, and what TV show would you love to guest direct?
Jesus. From
could be anything.
From life.
Yeah,
from
could be anything. Some people are keeping it where it's modern, and other people have been like, I want to be on Mesh.
Paco Stanley. I would definitely say Paco Stanley, güey. Paco Stanley's show, for sure.
Chabelo. I don't...
Chabelo.
What would I have loved to be in? Like, I don't know.
Chiquilla.
Chiquilla, exactly. I've never thought about this, man. You know what? I'd say, I mean, I would have loved to be in The Wire.
Sure.
Even though it's maybe a boring answer, but I think
I've heard The Wire many times, but it's just a testament of how incredible that show is.
yeah, maybe.
That it made that much of an impact on so many actors and people. You know,
I would say the Flying Circus, like Monty Python, absolutely.
yeah.
Like just whatever, just being a sound person or on that set or whatever. Just,
do you have a favorite sci-fi or fantasy film?
Yeah, man.
it's not my genre, but
I remember I used to love Labyrinth.
Yeah.
just 2001
It counts.
as
Yes.
sci-fi. Okay, so that one for me.
What film scared you as a kid?
The Michael Jackson Thriller video, like hell, like because they used to pass it in Mexico after they show the song for kids to go to sleep. No, in Canal 5.
Yeah.
They would like, you know, like good night, kids, good night. Now the adult programming is gonna begin, and all of a sudden, like and yeah, exactly. And I would be going crazy of like scared as hell with those eyes, you know.
Really?
Man, I would be so scared.
Me, I don't know. I remember RoboCop like really scared me because my brother kind of tortured me with it, like playing over and over when they kill Murphy and just a bullet going into his head, like he would rewind it and play it again. And we're like, please stop, and he would do it more and more. Yeah, that RoboCop scared me.
Is there anything that you collect?
Inadvertently, I now realize that I've been collecting books.
Okay.
Yeah, books and records. I love my vinyl collection.
Do you own any movie or TV show props?
Just the ones I've been in.
Do you borrow them from the set, or do you?
No,
will you...
I kindly ask if I can take it home, and they tell me okay. Sometimes, I mean, for example, with Museo, I have a little two little figures. Yeah, they give me. Well, they gave them to me. I don't know.
I don't have a single one.
But it's a little ring with a coyote, the one that he flies. You know, that one. Yeah, I keep that.
Do you have anything?
I can't remember. I don't think so.
What TV show have you watched all the way through more than once? If you have.
None.
The Flying Circus, yeah. And The Sopranos. I guess The Sopranos. I really like The Sopranos.
Excellent show. What's the background photo on your phone?
My kids.
My kid and my wife as
well. Is there a movie that you've watched more than 20 times?
Yeah. More than how many times? 20? Like a million times, no? Like
the movies that you've watched 50 times or 40 times, like something that you have watched the most.
So many, because when I was a kid, because it was this era of beta and VHS, so people would they would only have one film to see like all the time and repeated occasions. But with my kids, I see all the movies for kids all the time.
Yeah, they watch them.
I think Ratatouille is the film that I've seen most in my life, actually.
Which one?
Ratatouille.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's the film that I've seen most because they watch it over and over, and I love watching it with them, and I love learning from that movie also because it's such a good cinema, you know.
It's amazing, so and good. It has the best ending. You know.
Yeah.
No spoilers.
No.
By now, most people have seen it, but the ending it gets me every single time.
Yeah. Probably Life of Brian.
I think we've discovered a Monty Python superfan.
And Amarcord, the Fellini Amarcord, and I don't know, probably something like Ferris Bueller's Day Off or something. I've seen that.
Oh, and remember those?
And the Big Lebowski. I think I've seen the Big Lebowski like many.
And the Mel Brooks comedies, no? Remember the
Blazing Saddles,
the History of the World, that one. I remember somebody had a VHS and they left it at my house, and I would laugh as hell, and I didn't have it complete. You know, it was like I never saw the ending.
My last question for you guys: do you remember what it was when you were growing up that inspired or helped you want to be in the entertainment industry, to want to make movies, to want to act and direct?
Well, it would be interesting to narrow it down to films because, in a way, I mean, I don't know, because that's what we're here for, no? But I mean, because my parents are actors, so in a way, I wanted not to be an actor for a long, long time. So there was never a moment of, yes, I want to be that, you know, and actually until now, I know it happens to some people. For me, I've never experienced this thing of watching a film and thinking, oh, I would have loved to be in that or have done that. I have that feeling only in the theater. When I see a play and I go like, oh, I would love to be there, like playing football with them, you know, like I would love to be, you know, there, like just that experience. I would love to live it. With films, I'm a very good recipient of films. I love watching them and I go, wow, amazing. Like, and I feel really, I don't know, like encouraged, you know, I don't know, it doesn't feel, so there was never, you know, it's crazy. It's like, I think it was until my third movie that I decided I wanted to work in films. Yeah.
That's crazy.
The third film I was in, I was like, okay, I think I like this a lot and I'm getting into it. But yeah, it was later. It wasn't, I was doing films even if I didn't want to.
Yeah. For me, I guess it was different because my parents are doctors, so I wanted not to be a doctor. And yeah, so I did a lot of drama at school, and that kind of led to that. But I remember when I saw Who Framed Roger Rabbit, that film, I saw a little bit the other day, and I remembered like that really stayed with me. When I left the cinema, I asked my mom, like, who made that? Like, I realized that there was somebody that made the thing, you know. Before that, films just existed, but that was the first time I thought there was somebody behind the camera and how smart they were. And yeah.
What's amazing about Roger Rabbit, when you think back, is that was made in the 80s before the advent of, you know, what CGI can do. So much of that is done practically on set. It's
a
amazing.
Great film.
Yes. You know, when you study it and you examine, you know, what Bob Hoskins did, you know, it's just a great performance.
Yeah, it is.
I agree. I mean it sincerely. Congratulations on your movie. I hope everyone seeks it out because it's a effing crazy story, and it's like beautiful to look at. Thank you again for coming in, and really have a fantastic TIFF.
Thank you. You
Thank
too.
you.
You too.